Vijay Singh was known as the Gandhi of Bollywood. He was born and brought up as a Sikh, but he believed that all religions were equally true. He respected the followers of all faiths in his Indian society. He believed that there were good and bad people in all religions. He was influenced by the doctrine of ahimsa, non-violence, which was taught by Mahatma Gandhi, who borrowed it from the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Gandhi was also influenced by the Sermon on the Mount, in which the Lord Jesus Christ taught, "Love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you." Moreover, he was also influenced by the doctrine of Swami Vivekananda, which taught that all religions were equally true. Vijay Singh used to work as a high school teacher before he retired and joined Bollywood. He took on various side roles in many different movie productions. He always landed the role of the father or grandfather of the hero or heroine in the movie. His on-stage charisma also cast him as a teacher in many movies. He had an outstandingly pleasant personality that helped him to fit into any supporting role. Vijay Singh refused to play any malicious characters or villains. He said that it was against his ethics to be a bad person or portray a bad person in a film. He earned the honorable title of the Gandhi of Bollywood because he had been cast in the role of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, a few times. Vijay Singh inherited nothing from his father except a beautiful house in the rich and expensive area of Bandra. He was devoted to his father's memory and believed that the house held the essence and spirit of his late father. As such, the house was not for sale at any price. Vijay Singh loved his wife to distraction. Bone cancer took her away at the age of 70. He himself was 73 at the time. They had only one child, a son. His son was married to a woman of a different faith. Vijay Singh wasn't happy about the match between his son and his girlfriend, but told his son that he had no objections to the marriage if the girl's parents gave their blessings. But, the girl's parents stood strongly against the marriage of their daughter due to the religious differences and insisted that their religion forbade them to allow their daughter to marry an infidel. In the end, the girl disobeyed her father and married her Sikh boyfriend. She even sent her father and 2 brothers to jail when they tried to separate her from her husband by force. She was a Muslim by birth. Vijay Singh's son was known as Ajay Singh. Ajay, like his father, had only one son. His wife's greatest desire was to leave India and migrate to Australia. She had a sister in Sydney. When she visited her sister in Sydney, she fell in love with Western life. She changed a lot during her 6-month visit to Australia. When she returned to her homeland, she began to criticize India and now considered Mumbai the filthiest city in the entire world. Whenever she stepped out of her house, she put a handkerchief across her face to mask her nose from the filth and pollution of the reprehensible city. Ever since her return from the West, she nagged her husband day and night to emigrate to Australia. Ultimately, Ajay Singh succumbed to the pressure of his wife and agreed to go to the Australian consulate to apply for visas. Vijay Singh was against the idea of his son leaving him all alone in India and emigrating to Australia. Nevertheless, the son rejected the counsel of his father and listened to his wife. His application was rejected on the grounds that Ajay did not meet the criteria for immigrating to the promised land of his wife. The wife insisted they reapply on an economic basis. In order for Ajay Singh to immigrate to Australia as a businessman, he would have to have at least 5 million Indian rupees in his account. This amount had to be shown as US dollars to the immigration department upon the family's arrival in Sydney. In addition, business immigrants are barred from remitting funds out of Australia for 5 years. For months, Ajay's wife tried to get him to persuade her father-in-law to sell his house. It was the easiest way to raise the funds needed. After much harassment and nagging, Ajay agreed to talk to his father about selling his house. When Vijay Singh heard the words of his son, he threatened to kick him and his family out of his house. Until then, Ajay, his wife, and son lived under Vijay Singh's roof. Multi-generational homes are the cultural norm, and in India, they are called joint families. When the father-in-law rejected the son's request, his wife took offense. In her anger, a devilish idea crept into her mind. She told her husband that he should kill his father for standing in their way for a better life. Ajay Singh rebuked his wife and strongly rejected her evil designs. Even so, it didn't stop her from nagging him to execute the plan for the next 2 years. She knew that her husband was the sole heir. Whenever they argued, Ajay reminded his wife that his father could pass away anytime, and that they should allow for nature to take its course. As the years rolled by, the father, as it seemed to the daughter-in-law, was starting to look like he might live forever. Finally, the wife threatened to forsake her husband, take her son, and get a divorce. Then she would find another understanding man to get married to. This last threat forced Ajay's hand. When the son agreed to accelerate the chain of events and kill his father, Vijay was 80 years, 5 months, and very healthy. His morning routine started with a rigorous walk by the seaside. He actively took side acting roles. Ajay's wife told him that his father would live for another 30 years if they did not arrange for his murder. Finally, the wicked woman convinced her husband to arrange the murder of his own father so that he could inherit the house, sell it and fulfill her life's dream of migrating to Australia. Killing parents for the sake of inheriting their property or wealth isn't all that rare in Indian society. Usually, the murderer is a third party, which allows the culprit to build a rock-solid alibi or plausible denial, hence escaping prosecution. As was the norm for matters of this nature, being instigated by his evil wife, Ajay Singh approached some Gondas, gangsters, and discussed his plan with them. The Gondas agreed to his plan and requested a 25% cut of the house market value. Ajay accepted the deal and gave the Gondas the green light. According to the plan, Ajay, his wife, and their son would be away from the house at the time of the murder. The assassination of the Gandhi of Bollywood would point to a botched burglary, leaving the police to assume that the old man was killed trying to apprehend the burglars. In this way, in death, the old man would gain honor in the public eye as opposed to dishonor in passing at the hands of his own son. Before commencement, the Gondas requested a token of their agreement. They required a recording of his instructions to kill his father as a deposit on their return of 25% equity in the old man's house. Ajay reluctantly recorded his instructions and handed it over. The day soon arrived and Ajay took his wife and son to Lonavala for the weekend, soaking in the beautiful tourist destination. The evil conspiracy worked out as it was planned and the Gandhi of Bollywood was discovered dead in his house by his son, daughter-in-law, and grandson. When the police arrived, the cause of death was presumed to be a homicide. At the hospital, it appeared that the father had been murdered 2 days prior. The cause of his death was internal bleeding to the head due to a powerful strike by a sharp metal object. The police dusted for fingerprints and were able to match one of the prints on the scene to a known felon, a notorious Gonda known as Kalia. Kalia was a larger-than-life personality who gave Mumbai and her police force nightmares. Kalia in Hindi means black person, and the notorious Gonda was as black as the night. His life story was portrayed by the evergreen Bollywood superstar Amitabh Bachchan. Kalia's real name was Anthony. He was born and grew up on Car Road. He was raised by his Christian parents who moved from Goa to Mumbai many years ago before he was born. Once Kalia's hand in the murder became public knowledge, Kalia decided that he was due more money and demanded a 50% share of the booty. At first, Ajay refused Kalia's demands, giving in only when threatened with the murder of his wife and son. The house was sold for 20 million Indian rupees. Kalia received his share in cash. After that, Ajay Singh applied to emigrate with an Australian business visa. It didn't take long for his application to be approved and he emigrated to a new life with his wife and son. Whenever Ajay felt remorse for his actions, he would berate his wife and remind her that she was the instigator of the plot to kill his father. She, on the other hand, would return the favor and remind him that for him, she had sent her father and brothers to jail. That was the way the Gandhi of Bollywood was sent to the grave by his own son, who was instigated by the spirit of his Muslim wife, Fatima Jezebel. However, the family who bought the house inherited much of Vijay Singh's possessions. His son told the new owners that whatever stuff was left in the house by his deceased father they could either use or else throw in the garbage. Ajay and Jezebel were in a great hurry to go to their promised land and had no time to waste in trying to get rid of old stuff left behind by their victim. There were beds, mattresses, chairs, tables, and a cupboard full of Bollywood movies and classical books. The new owners threw everything away except the cupboard. They were happy to give the movies acted in by the Gandhi of Bollywood a place in their new home. Randomly, whenever they had free time, the new heirs would select and play a movie from their huge collection of Mr. Vijay Singh movies. One day the wife of the new owner was all alone with her husband away at work in the Lokanwala complex. She decided to watch a movie and searched the cupboard for something engaging. She came across a video titled Private and Confidential. The title of the movie drew her attention and piqued her curiosity. An avid movie buff, she could not remember any movie released with that name. She picked it up and placed it in the video player. Then, she returned to her comfortable couch and reclined. With the remote in her right hand, the woman pressed play. Instead of seeing the opening credits and the names of the actors and the producers of the movie, she saw the director himself was holding a whip in his right hand and slashing the backside of a young beautiful girl. Both the director and the young heroine were completely naked. She could not believe her eyes when she recognized the old man who was mercilessly beating and raping the young girl. Up to that point, he had been her favorite director. He was the greatest Bollywood director, Mahmud Khan. She also recognized the young girl as the Iranian heroine because of the media coverage of her court case. The wife immediately contacted her husband and informed him about her discovery. She asked him to come to the house as soon as possible. When her husband arrived, she made him watch the sadistic rape of Aphrodite Khan by her captor, Mahmud Khan. The couple knew that if Mahmud Khan came to know that they had such a condemning video in their possession, he would not hesitate to send Gandhis to murder them. They were also afraid that if they give the video to the police, Mahmud Khan might be notified by the corrupt police department of Mumbai and they would find their home raided or yet burned to the ground with them in it. Therefore, the husband suggested that they should destroy the video and close that chapter forever. However, his wife balked at his suggestion and insisted that they send the video to Rani Krishna because she was the one who stood with the young Iranian heroine and helped her in her time of need. Obliging his wife, as always, the couple was able to make contact with Rani Krishna on a very important personal matter concerning the young heroine, Aphrodite Khan. They were invited to Rani's house and revealed information to her about the video that they had discovered accidentally in the cupboard of the late Mr. Vijay Singh. When Rani Krishna watched the video, she could not believe that a human being could be so evil as to torture an innocent girl in such a cruel way in order to satisfy his animalistic lust. When she heard the story from Aphrodite of how she was raped, she did not think it had been done in such a sadistic and painful manner. Her anger against Mahmud Khan reached beyond her ability to control herself. She decided to expose him publicly before sending him to prison. She contacted the Stink News immediately and told them about the video. However, she said to the news broadcast, she would not hand over the video to them unless they would agree to live airtime without any editing. The Stink News readily agreed. They promised her that they would not even watch it before they aired it on live TV. It was 7 o'clock in the evening when the Stink News surprised the entire city of Mumbai with the incredible special sex, lies, and videotape. While the video was playing, many people called the Stink News station and requested they stop airing the recorded sex abuse and torture. Some people argued that the airing of the video violated the guidelines of restricted material appropriate for the airwaves and privacy laws. Even the Mumbai police called and ordered Stink News to stop airing the video. Nevertheless, Stink News refused to stop airing the unedited video. When the police reached the studio, the video had already ended. That video turned the city of Mumbai upside down. See